Sell everything and hit the road. Should you sell your house, get out of your lease, sell most of your belongings and hit the road in your car, van, or RV, become a nomad traveler? Well, I did it. I personally did it myself, so I cannot be a hypocrite and say I could do it, but you can't. So let me start there, However, let me just share with you also that I inventoried my life. What does that mean? That means I said, Sam, well, I'm single, so I could take a level of risk because I don't have a spouse depending on me. So that made it a better choice. No perfect choice, but it's less risk when it's just you involved. I have no children. So again, I'm not in charge of taking care of someone else, so I could take more risk with my own life. I have no pets. I had a pet, but it passed away a couple years before I decided to sell everything and hit the road. So again, I had no other being depending on me. That's a big inventory there. The next part of inventorying your life is your career and your age. Career and your age. I'm middle age. When I hit the road, I was 37. And I didn't hit the road because I'm still in the middle of my career. At the time, I had an office job in New Jersey. And for those who have watched my videos from the beginning for about 2 years or so, they see that for the first couple years, I stayed in New Jersey because I had an office job. And I applied a couple times to get a remote position to be able to work anywhere where there's Wi-Fi. And after a couple tries, I eventually got it. But, again, middle age, I stayed in the location I was at in extreme climate. Because of my age and my health, I figured, well, I'd give it a shot. And my plan was if it doesn't work out, eventually I could probably get a job down in Florida with a different company in the same industry. I built up a career of about 20 plus years in the same industry. See, when you move around a lot, if you're younger and if you don't have a career established, that can hurt your career growth because how you move up and gain experience is you settle in an industry, you pay your dues over time, meaning you show up, you build time with a company in an industry, in a location over a period of time, and then you progressively build your career and you have more options, you have more experience, and you're more valuable in the workforce. Your 20s and early 30s are the time you build the foundation of your career. Your mid to late 30s, 40s, and 50s is when you maximize your career earning potential. And in your 60s and 70s, you unwind and retire. That's the way the cycle of working careers normally go. There are exceptions, and as technology advances and entrepreneurship may be easier, even though it's still very risky, it's not to say that my way is the only way. I'm just sharing with you my way and one of the major things that I inventoried. So before I sold my house and started living in my car, I inventoried who else depends on me other than me? No one. Can I still maintain a job and be patient enough to wait until I can get a transfer? And I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I figured if it doesn't work out, I'll either rent a small place or figure something else out until I can move down to Florida. So you take risk, but part of the mitigating of the risk, lessening it, is inventorying who you are, your individual circumstance. You have a fingerprint. That means your circumstance, even if it's similar, is individual to you. You take accountability, whether it goes right or wrong, and you seize the moment of your life. There's never going to be the perfect time, the perfect conditions, and everything lines up. However, there are better times than others, and every day you're only getting older, and and you have to have some passion in life. I woke up middle age. I said I just lost my passion, and I wanted to reinvent my life. I wanted to reposition my life down in Florida. I wanted to live simpler. Part of me selling everything and hitting the road was not just because I wanted to be this nomadic traveler. I liked the freedom and flexibility of not owning anything. However, my main objective was to cut my monthly bills in half and move down to Florida. If you watch my early videos, that was the driving force. And then as I got into this thing, I really started to become more aware of why the nomadic life is very attractive, because you don't have a lot of obligations. You have a huge amount of flexibility. However, I also discovered, look, there's also downside, meaning that moving around a lot could hurt your career if you're not established. Extreme weather makes the nomadic life difficult unless you are willing to move around a lot. RVs are very expensive. Campgrounds can be very expensive. I figured out you get the 1,000 Trails camping membership. That helps a lot. But those campgrounds aren't located everywhere that I want to be. So there's, even within the nomadic lifestyle, there's pros and cons. Okay. And so I look now at home bases. Very tough for me to commit to something now because ownership is, not just financial liability, but an emotional liability and an anchor to your soul. I mean, the living on the road is addictive because there's a huge amount of freedom that is very much liberating to your mind, maybe to your wallet if you're very conscious to budget and have clear financial objectives. And if you keep working, I have seen some people sell everything, hit the road, and they just stop working and they live off savings. Again, I'm not mad at you if you do that because I respect that everyone's an individual with their own individual fingerprint. But if you're younger or middle age, I just want you to be cautious that you build up into retirement. You're able to pay for your own health care because as you get older, you're less employable and, you don't want to be vulnerable, because as you get older, you want to just focus on your health and enjoying life peacefully. But I could certainly understand it. Look, you don't want to waste your youth and while you're able to travel and have health, because many people, they do wait till they're older to do it responsibly financially, and then they're too old or sick to move. A lot of the home bases, meaning either tiny house or RV lots that I've been looking at possibly purchasing here in Florida, a lot of them are for sale from older people who are now too sick to live on their own and they're going to move closer to their kids or back to their original home state, because many people who move to Florida from different states. And so I see the cycle of life. I see that, look, even if you wait till you're a certain age, you could wait too long because, So should you sell everything and hit the road? If you have inventoried your life, tailored for your specific circumstance, if you can maintain an income, or if you have enough passive income through your investments or personal endeavors that you can pay for your own health insurance and build savings and retirement, and if you don't have too many people counting on you other than you. Now look, if you have 3 kids and you're going to pull them out of a school system, and I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do it because who am I? But I'm just saying something you got to think about. You got inventory. If you got 3 pets or 1 pet, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but it's something you have to inventory because you're always going to need heating and cooling and, somewhat of a stable environment for those pets or those children. So there's no perfect answer. I shared with you my story. I shared with you some things that I consider and that what I would encourage you to consider seriously. However, again, I would be unfair to tell people they shouldn't do it. Because look, I mean, if you're not hurting anyone or if you're not putting anyone in serious jeopardy, then obviously you do what's best for you. And if it doesn't work out, have an exit strategy. I think everyone should have a level of an exit strategy. And an exit strategy is always a level of financial health that will allow you, if it doesn't work out on the road, to have enough money for first and last month's deposit on a new rental, or to buy another house, or something where you would be able to get back into the conforming life, because living on the road is the non-conforming life. I mean, it's not traditional in society. It's not the standard. It's not the norm. You aren't doing anything illegal by living in your car, van, or RV as long as you're parking legally and abiding by the laws. However, you are somewhat going against the tide. 90+% of society lives in homes or apartments, and they're not moving around all the time. So you have to really seriously consider what you're up against, and be willing to navigate that. For me, look, it's worked so far. It's had its downsides, but it's worked. I've paid the price, in extreme weather, and there's been ups and downs, and it's very tough when you get sick living on the road. That's the big negative. But again, I wish the best for you. I hope this video helped. If it did, please take the time to click the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're not. Check out my playlist and my Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck with all your decisions. Peace and love.